When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I did that before, except I went down in the thingy.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What the fuck?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, God.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
You can't make me. Fuck you. They're making me. I don't wanna.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
What's this achievement? You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Okay?
But in his mind,
God damn it.
in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I want to watch
He began
TV.
to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Don't say that.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last,
Stop it.
choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
There's an invisible something there.
As he wandered through
No.
his fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. Down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And
Stop
down another
it.
was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Stop it.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
No.
But there is no
No.
answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
No.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
No? Nope. Not gonna do it. Can't make me. God damn it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I don't want to press Z to question nothing. I want to question all the things. Can I open the door? Type? Pencil sharpener? For 27? Fuck.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please die.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Oh god.
Wait, Stanley thought to
Oops,
himself.
I'm muted.
Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
What the fuck?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find it. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I wonder if this is going to be the same, like, really drawn-out thing that I saw the first time that I came down here. I really hope not.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Oh.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley
This game
is
is
as awake
fucking
right now
weird.
as he's ever been in his life.
It's so cool, though.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt,
I hate
that
how this
was
thing
in
is
fact
like
a
a really
dream.
long, drawn-out thing
Did
you
the
can't
voice
skip.
not see him float and
Like, it
make
was
the
really
magical
cool the first
stars
time,
just a
but
moment ago? How else would the
it's, like,
voice
annoying
explain
now.
all that? This voice was a part of himself too.
This is like a
Surely,
4-minute
surely,
cutscene or
if
some
he could
shit.
just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel
Holy
better.
shit.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
That's
The
like
very
referencing
important
the
people
other
whose impressions of her would affect
the other
her
thing that
career,
just
and
happened
by extension,
where I
the
was
rest of her life.
pressing
She had no
buttons,
time for this, so
and
it
the
was
guy was
only
like
a
a doctor
moment
or
that
something.
she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
What the fuck? I wonder just like how many
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand.
How many things
It was only a
there
matter
are.
of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Hey. I didn't
Stanley
need
went
to know
around
anything
touching
about that
every
fern
little
before.
thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
What? I want to input. Give me input. Give me diotide. What? Doors aren't closing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
See, the thing is, if I go in on the left, I don't think there's any, like... any different, like, special things I can do. I'm pretty sure it's just, like, straightforward. I keep trying to jump.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It opened! To be rich, is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. That fucking scared me. I don't exactly know how this, like, if this elevator does anything. Because I sat in it for a good minute or two before, and nothing happened. Oops. Why does this elevator not do anything? Okay. Graphs. Okay. What's it say? Business strategy. That's fucking brutal. I can't read that one.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not
frozen.
a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Whoa.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
There's nothing back here, at least. Yeah, there's nothing. Pretty sure if I walk into the mind control center, it's all, like, that's all gonna be the same. I'd hate to think that I actually, like, discovered everything so far, because it just doesn't seem like I should have already found everything. Because I've played the game for
Stanley
like an hour.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Doors, yeah. No, he didn't. He's gonna escape again.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
See what happens if I turn back. Wonder if it says anything special.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
God damn it.
Nope, still on board with death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I don't know. This game's weird. Whoa.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna... Okay. What's back here? Stairs, sweet. I don't think I've seen this stuff actually. Employee lounge.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
I don't know what to think of this game. It is the most confusing, craziest fucking concept I've ever seen for a game. It's like a fucking movie that plays backwards over and over again until you notice what is happening, and then you just fucking, you're like, holy shit, and I don't get what's happening, because like I'm insane, and like either I'm insane or there's actually mind control, or I don't know. This game's fucking cool as hell. I'm probably gonna play more of it. The thing is, like, I feel like I went through every path. Maybe not in a certain order, except I went through a few paths already, and I feel like I've walked every direction. I don't know. But that's so cool. I'm gonna be done playing this for now. Like I said, I'm probably gonna make more videos of it, because having only 2 videos of this game feels like there's gonna be more than like an hour to an hour and a half worth of footage from this game if they developed it for 2 years. So that's all I'm gonna play for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.